If you, just like me, have always seek freedom, I have bad news for you. Freedom, huh? We all crave it. We want to choose a path in life, we want to get rid of controls from parents, teachers, bosses, whatever. We want financial freedom after all. Freedom seems an obvious goal to be pursued. But why then humanity stubbornly avoids it throughout its history?
Whatever you call it, I am running away from my responsibilities. Well, it feels good.
In this video, I'd like to look closer at the concept of freedom and how our desire for it might not be as straightforward as we think. Before we start, let's define what freedom actually is. Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants in the conditions of awareness of the laws of nature and society. An obvious way to avoid freedom was always religion. Completely understandable. In that foreign and incomprehensible world, people found answers. They knew what was good and bad. They got a full guide on how to live, actually. Purpose in life, eventually. Before and during Middle Ages, due to harsh religious restrictions and traditional structure of society, personal freedom was mostly absent. But at the same time, people felt the reliability of their position. They were in solidarity with each other and put humanitarian needs first. At the end of Middle Ages, capital and competition has appeared, which led us to greater freedom. Some people began to engage in trade, manufacturing, provision of services. Some became their employees. Finally, people could increase their well-being. Sounds great. We've gained freedom and could finally decide what to do with our lives. Except, we have simply found another god: money. Over time, some of entrepreneurs were especially lucky and grew their businesses that much so that others just couldn't compete with them anymore. That meant an increase of monopolistic capital, which blocked possibilities for individual success. The development of capitalism has emerged a concept of time as we know it today, when time is money and every minute counts. Capitalism has turned people into tools whose purpose in life was economic efficiency and not their individual happiness. Instead of life as such, material success became the goal. On top of that, people were hypnotized by advertisements and political propaganda, destroying critical thinking. Times have changed, people became more tolerant, we have more free time now. There are so many different ways to make living today. But now, when it's up to us to decide, we are often lost, and this constant need to make decisions just drives us crazy. The man was left alone. Everything now depended on his own effort, and that's hard. According to Erich Fromm, whose book Escape from Freedom has inspired me to this video, the modern society has two ways to escape from freedom. First is submission to a leader in authoritarian states, and the second is forced conformity in democracies. Maybe you feel low sometimes, just like me, and whining to yourself, "Oh, it's so hard, I wish someone told me what to do." Now imagine most of the country thinking like that, in hard times, during crises, for example. A great ground for an ambitious person to come to power and promise stability, former glory, bright future and clear plan. And then happens something like Nazism in Germany. So this is the first mechanism, authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is the rejection of one's own personality for the sake of merging with something from the outside. Having become a part of the force that a person considers unshakable, eternal and beautiful, he becomes involved in this power and glory, and the person completely loses himself. There was Fromm's idea on this topic that I found interesting and want to share with you too. He divides an authoritarian personality type, which has two sides. Such type of people sort of worship power. So that means when they don't have it, they tend to flatter, try to win the benevolence of superior, and they desire power themselves. And when they get it, they become dictators and look down to other people. And then I thought, what kind of people actually rule the world? No wonder there are wars and chaos around. But that's a theme for another video. I think it will be the next video. Contrary to dictatorship, people in modern democratic societies, such as America for example, practice conformist thinking. Although such societies are supposedly free, they have not yet allowed the individual to be itself and to fully realize their potential. Instead of thinking for themselves, people often allowed society to dictate what to do, what to wear, what to strive in life. Fromm told that in 1941, and to be honest, it seems to me that in our internet era today, it's even more relevant. All of these ideas of pursuing success, money, being that girl, even hygge and minimalism, these are all instructions on how to live and what to do and what to wear. And actually they were promoted by corporations so that you could buy the attributes of this life to be in this lifestyle. Here is the catch. All of these structures provide the sense of security, but instead they take our personality. They create a paradox where we trade our freedom for a false sense of comfort. It seems that in modern society, well, in developed countries at least, the world now gives best opportunities for personal freedom. We accept diversity, we try to give equal chances to everyone, we let ourselves do anything with our lives, and maybe that's why today anxiety floods people so much, me included. You've seen how popular nowadays gets astrology, tarot cards, and even psychology sometimes rises unhealthy interest when people are trying desperately to find answers in it. Many just can't handle the level of anxiety that this freedom gives us. And yes, we're still trying to avoid freedom. So, where does it leave us? Do we discard the idea of freedom altogether? No, absolutely not. We still consider the idea of freedom as good, which we should seek. And I totally agree with that. To my mind, it's cool to be a bright individual with its personal way of thinking and behavior maybe, because I think that this kind of person could definitely bring more to this world and society. Moreover, probably people can live happy and fulfilling life only doing as they themselves will. And nowadays we have every opportunity for that. But it's crucial to understand that freedom is a double-edged sword. It's not about just breaking chains. It's about making decisions that make our lives, actually. And it's about conscious choice and then accepting the consequences that it brings. Fromm believed that person can achieve true freedom only by realizing himself through love, communication with others, and work. Not forced, but creative. I'm still not sure why we appreciate freedom that much and if it exists at all, because lately I hear a lot about lack of free will. But I still believe we can have some freedom. And if you have your opinion to this topic, I would be glad to read your comment below and maybe discuss this theme. Thank you for watching!